So what do you think the opportunity is, and how can young South Africans exploit that opportunity for themselves?
Yeah. I think the key thing is to really try and get yourself well informed about, different sectors and different, be well informed, be willing to enter into, utilize opportunities that are presented, whether you get invitations to attend something, or and it's especially if it's within your line of interest. But I think what is critical about the South African brand, and it's unfortunate that in recent years, there's always been this movement of, South Africa is almost being a standalone from the rest of Africa. Or
Yeah, even South Africans, they say, "Are you going to Africa?"
Yes,
if you're traveling.
Yes. but Africa as a whole, we know we are what has made the rest of the world to become. They are where they are today because of Africa's minerals, resources, and it is crucial to really build on that and get to know what other countries are doing. There's opportunities now, especially because if you look at it in the DTI, there was a time when the policy was finalized for, I hope I don't wash it, it's called AFTA, which is the African Continental Free Trade. Oh God, I think I'm... But anyway, that policy really was allowing free trade area, was allowing for South African businesses to now trade with other African countries that have signed on that policy or that agreement. Yeah. And that was opening up. That's why if you go to Nigeria, you'll find MTN and ShopRite. Yeah, I almost said Checkers, but ShopRite. And in some other countries, Standard Bank is there, MTN is there.
Absolutely.
And if they're there, why are you as a SMME or a business only focused on just here? Those are things that I think young people should start expanding their horizon in saying that there is opportunities to trade within the continent.
Yeah, you know what I find amazing, ne? You'd be driving in any parts of, let's say, just South Africa, and you're driving in some remote town, you'll see a Pep. I always tell my guys, and I'm like, the guys at Pep are hustlers.
Yes.
Like, these guys will go look for their customer. Wherever it is, they'll put a store there.
Yes.
And it speaks to what you're saying, to say, if you're a business, why don't you, wherever your customer is, find that space within the African context?
Yes.
But how can they do that? What are the key steps that one can take?
Definitely you have to research your markets. If you, let's say, are selling, like of a better example, shoes or sneakers, and you're doing well in South Africa and the brand is growing, you have to gradually then tap into the SADC to see how that's going to work out. But to do that, you have to research the market. And to do that, you have to call companies like ours, who would assist you and facilitate that process in ensuring that, okay, we will start with SADC, baby steps. And then if there's an intake of that, you can broaden it to the middle of Africa or West Africa and so forth.
How do you guys help the companies? Like, give me a couple of ways.
Yes, so you look at, you definitely have to research that market. You have to understand their policies and access to markets. You have to see, in terms of access to market, what do they give to investors? Because when you're coming in, you're also viewed as an investor, even though it's within the continent, I got an invite now to say that the Democratic Republic of Congo, sometime this month, is going into their trade and investment expo, and they're inviting businesses to come in. So those are the channels one could also use. And you have to leverage off of that. There are systems in place, but you have to leverage off that and ensure that you really study that market extensively, find out their regulatories, their operational environment. Do they have special economic zones, perhaps, where you can set up your warehouse and manufacture with tax incentives for you? And also, in those companies, are they potential investors? And investors abroad, I mean, you could look at them from venture capitalists and so forth, who can actually come in and inject that capital, to angel investors and so forth. So you'd have to really study that market and pilot that. Even now, we're working with an organization that's trying to come into South Africa. They have a great product they want to bring into South Africa. In fact, a great service they want to bring into South Africa. It's really a game changer, and it also addresses some of government's objectives of smart cities.
Yes.
And they're an Australian company, but they have a global footprint. They're trying to tap into Africa, and South Africa is one of their key markets that they're looking at. So we are assisting them with that investment services in terms of seeing where we can source out investors who'll partner with them, but also their licensing and all of that. So the same thing that's done in to get people into South Africa, businesses, SMMEs should also do when they're trying to go into the African continent. It need not be expensive, especially if you phase it. And I know a lot of people say, we've got great ideas, but where's the money?
Yeah, where's the money?
Where's the money to do
Why don't
this?
you tell them it's more than just money?
It sometimes is definitely more than just money, hey? Sometimes it is. You know, there was a term we used to use in public sector. It was, and they still do today. They say we offer financial and non-financial
support.
Yes,
I've heard that. Yeah.
Leverage off of that. You know, I've had I had a conversation one time with also another SMME saying, look, we've got this project. It's within billions. These are the projections. They've done their homework, to be honest with you, and their frustration is the funding isn't there. And sometimes, you know, it's really unfortunate, because that's when I always say, look at a different type of investor. You don't have to always, if you're not getting the funding from government the way you'd want to, perhaps partner with or basically look at international investors. And some of the international investors, and I think their key thing was, the international market puts me off because they're going to want equity.
Of course they do.
They do.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of SMMEs, I've actually said to even our partners, we had a conversation about it, that we don't just want to be an agency that's offering strategic business service and advisory service. We also, in some of these projects, would like to get equity.
Because you want longevity,
yes.
Right? You want long-term projects.
Yes. So that one day when these projects are listed in the JSE, whether they're Series A, B, C, or venture capitalists come on board, we should also have the ability to have a level of equity.